In my kitchen today, we're going to be doing baked macaroni and cheese. Guys, if you would please, if you don't mind, subscribe to my channel. We're going to need some seasoning salt, complete seasoning, elbows, sour cream, cheeses of your choice. I have shredded cheddar cheese and mozzarella cheese, some flour, and some butter. Okay, now when I opened this box, this was like large elbows. I usually use regular Mueller's elbows. And I got a feeling when these suckers cook up, they're gonna be huge. But I've already added the salt. Everything is to a boil, so I'm just stirring in to keep them from sticking to the pot. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start my cheese sauce. I didn't have any cheese sauce here, so we just gonna improvise. We'll go ahead and make some. I used a stick of butter here. We're just putting the butter in there. We're gonna let that melt down. Let it get a nice melt, and then when we add our flour, we're just gonna stir, kind of cook the flour a little bit. But for right now, she's just melting down. And I got a lot of stuff going on in the kitchen this day. I had collard greens, tuna macaroni salad, rice, cornbread, ribs, macaroni and cheese. Had a nice little dinner today. That was just to get the video going for the little things that I wanted to drop before Thanksgiving. So this is a couple of them. So once that butter is melted down, now what I'm gonna do is, okay, for the sauce, you can add as much flour as you like or as little flour as you like. You like a thin sauce, you add less flour. You like a thicker sauce, you add more flour. With this one, I'm gonna just add 3 spoonfuls of flour, and I'm gonna let that cook down nicely in that butter. We don't want to burn it, so we kind of gotta just keep stirring. And with all that butter that you guys see there, I won't have to add any more butter to the macaroni and cheese once I start mixing it up, because we got more than enough butter there. So I'm just cooking that down. And I mean, we're not browning it, but we want to make sure that it's cooked. You don't want that chalky flavor in your macaroni. And being that I had to make the sauce, I'm not going to use any eggs in this video. Most people, well, a lot of people, they use eggs like to hold it together, but this is going to hold it together just fine. Going to make it like a nice thick consistency, and we don't have to go in with all that additional stuff. So she's coming together pretty good. Again, we don't want that flour to burn, so that's why I'm consistently stirring here. Just stir. And then I have 1 can of carnation milk. I would have used 2 cans if I had. I was just kind of using what I had in there, and I'm only making a small pan anyway, so we're just gonna improvise with some whole milk also. Add up just about that amount of whole milk also. So that was 1 can of carnation milk, and I'm gonna go ahead and do whole milk also in there. I'm just eyeballing it, so we're just trying to get to about the can, which I may have to add a little bit more, maybe not, but in this video I did. Okay, so we're not gonna let that boil. We're just gonna let it heat up enough to melt the cheese. We're gonna start adding our cheese to it shortly, but we're just gonna let it heat up. So in the meantime, I'm gonna I have my noodles there. I stepped away for a minute. It seems like about a minute, and I let my noodles cook just a tad bit too soft. But you want those noodles, I think they call it al dente, like on the firmer side. You don't want it cooked totally. But if it's already cooled off, I would prefer to use the hot noodles, like everything come together at one time. I had already added the sour cream, so that spoonful of cream, the sour cream that I just showed you, I used 3 of those in that bowl. So I added 3 spoonfuls of sour cream. Just kind of makes it a little more fluffier. So we're gonna check on that cheese sauce. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be boiling. We just want it hot enough to melt that cheese when it goes in. So that's some cheese that I had left over in the bag. I have some more cheddar cheese there also, but that was the remainder of that cheddar cheese. And we're gonna put some mozzarella in there. I didn't cut all these tops before I started, but we just add a little mozzarella over in there. Add some more cheddar cheese to that, and then, like I said, that butter and milk mixture is already nice and hot, so we're just gonna stir that cheese into that, and it's gonna come out nice and creamy. I mean, guys, like this morning when I got up, well, last night I realized that I didn't have the cheese sauce. I was making the tuna macaroni salad last night, and I realized I didn't have cheese sauce, and I know I wasn't going to the store, so I know I had to improvise. But this is just the cheese sauce that you would buy in a jar here. So see how that melted down into that milk and butter. Melted nicely, and again, this is just a small pan, so which it looks like it's too much. It was too much noodles, but don't worry, we made it work. Just gotta, make it do what it do in this kitchen. Now it has a nice yellow, orange, or whatever you want to call it, color, because all those cheeses have already melted down in there. So that's about ready to go in the noodles. So I did just give it a little taste test there, and it was good. I didn't have to add anything else to it, and that was on a low medium heat. Because again, I didn't want it boiling. I didn't want anything sticking. So I turned off my fire. And I'm going with a little bit of seasoning sauce now. Seasoning salt, and I'm going to add some complete seasoning also, but a little bit, because when I boiled the noodles, I put water and I put a little bit of chicken broth in there, just for that nice flavor. So it's water, and the noodles have already been boiled in water and chicken broth with some salt, of course, because you definitely want to salt your water. You don't want no fresh noodles in your macaroni. So I'm gonna mix this up, and this is gonna be too much for that pan because it is a small pan. So yeah, I was improvising big time, but I was determined to get all that in that pan. I just didn't want it boiling over in the oven and messing up my oven. But add the rest of the cheese sauce there. And you just stir it till everything is evenly coated. And once it's evenly coated, what I do usually is add my cheeses to it. So the additional cheeses. So I take the cheddar cheese and a little bit more of the mozzarella cheese, and I add it to it like at this point. But I think I'm gonna put that in the pan. That's what I did. I put it in the pan and I mix the cheese in the pan. I just didn't want it to run over in my thing. Sometimes you gotta stick and move, so that's what I had to do on this one right here. I had to make it work. But again, this is where you add your additional cheeses. Now, I did see that it needed a little bit more milk, so I put some milk in there. I don't want too much milk in there, but I added a little more milk in there because I'm gonna go in with the cheeses, so it's definitely gonna you don't want it too thick, so that when you add the cheeses, I just added a little milk to make sure that when I put that cheese in there, everything mixed, because you'll fight with it. When it's too thick, you're fighting to get that cheese in there, which I kind of had to do a little bit on that, but that's neither here nor there. It's still gonna come out great. Okay, so now I'm just lining it. Yeah, that's a lot of macaroni. Way more than I anticipated cooking, but it is what it is. Now I'm gonna try to get that cheese in there, because I still gotta coat it with cheese also. So it turned into a little experiment, a little science project, but we're gonna make this fit in this pan. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you like the video. Now, I've already added the cheese here. So I thought I was recording, but I've already added the cheese here. Now, I'm just going over the top of it with a little bit of cheddar cheese. You're just gonna coat the entire top of the pan with cheddar cheese, and I'm just gonna sprinkle in some mozzarella. That's just for a little, I guess, color, you could say. I put a little mozzarella on top of that too. If you like the video, guys, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. All of that good stuff. Give it a thumbs up. Okay, so she's nicely coated in there. And one of my friends say I have a love affair with my food. Yeah, there'll be a she or a he one day, or whatever the case, but it is what it is. Now we just putting a little, again, like I said, just putting a little mozzarella on the top. And we're gonna put this in the oven. I already have some ribs in the oven, so it's gonna share that heat at 350. And I'm gonna let that go for about 35-45 minutes. Okay, that's the finished product, and this is the macaroni plated. It was delicious. Guys, don't forget the thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.